All right, so you can start now. I think we are live now.
Yeah, sure. So, good morning, everybody. My name is Samuel, and I'm a PhD student at Worcester Polytechnic Institute here in Worcester, Massachusetts. So, just like a little disclaimer, I also want to thank Stanley for organizing this kind of program for others who are also looking for pathways to come to the US for further studies and other things as well. So before we came here, so I came here last year, August to be precise. We were told that even though we know that the visa interview is like an integral part of your whole entire school application process, there are a couple of things that you just need to know. I just want to say so that when we get into the interview, you feel more comfortable and relaxed to answer the questions. So the thing is that the visa interview plays an integral role because everything you've done, someone can decide it in just 3 minutes. Sometimes it doesn't exceed 5 minutes. They'll ask you questions and you answer them. So there are a lot of things to just simply note. For example, I can see from the I-20 that a couple of you who I received the I-20s have scholarships already, like GA, graduate assistantship. So it means the school has found you worthy intellectually, character-wise and all of that, for them to give you their hard-earned money to come to their school. So without much ado, I just want you to know that visa interview that you're told that there is just simply a conversation. These people don't know you before. Just simply come and defend what you've written in your DS-160. So don't be nervous. Just simply answer questions. Practice as much as you can. After this mock interview today, attend as many more you can. Practice. Write down your answers. Any answer you want, you feel like if this is going to be like a question you think the viewer is going to ask you, have like a custom answer. Don't look at people's own. It's like someone asked you this morning, what have you had for breakfast? You know, my answer is going to be different from that of Stanley, even though both of us are in the US. Everybody on this course is going to have a different answer. Even if we had the same meal, the way you're going to answer it is going to be different. And that's the same approach I think you should take for the visa interview. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So are you good?
Yes, sir.
Oh, all right. Okay, so we can start. Yeah, so good morning, Samuel.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Can you pass me?
Mr. Samuel Uche.
Thank you. Can you pass me the document?
Sir.
All right.
Take it, sir.
Yeah, I see you're going to NIU.
Yes, sir. I'm going there to pursue my master's in political science.
Yes. So what do you currently do now?
I'm currently working with Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, at the headquarters, Abuja here.
Okay. I can see from your document that you're going to study political science and government. Why political science and government?
During my undergraduate, I carried a research on secessionist agitations and the examination of secessionist agitations with particular interest in the Biafran agitation. And currently, during the 2023 general election, I noticed how identity politics actually affect voting pattern. So I'm going there to actually investigate how identity politics affects developing democracy with special interest in Nigeria.
Okay. So why did you choose NIU?
NIU presents an opportunity beyond classroom for internships and international opportunities for the diversity of students in NIU. And there is a particular doctor, Kiki, who has actually worked extensively on identity politics, and her work aligned with my research interest.
All right. So what do you intend to do after studies?
Upon my graduation, I'm coming back to take up a senior position in my place of work.
Okay, that will be all for now. Stanley, over to you. Or do you want to make some corrections? So I asked you like multiple questions. I just felt like sometimes it might not be as much as this. Other times it can be as big as this.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I was just jotting down a few points when you were asking him some questions that I need to react. I will just react on my own side. Other views like Obina is here. Yeah, I can see.
Oh wow, glad to have him here.
Yeah, Obi, my man. So he's here. He can also react and then also make his own corrections. But from my own end, Chooks, Chooks, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So my few corrections. Number one, I think you really need to calm down. You were kind of I can sense some kind of will I say agitation? It's not agitation. Some kind
Yeah.
of you are startled. So you just not need to calm down. Just like Samuel said, visa interview is a conversation. It's just a conversation between you and the VO. So and already like I always tell you guys, for you to have a full funding, because what you have from your I-20 is like a full funding. The only thing you are this did not cover is the medical, I mean the health this thing. But you have like a full funding scholarship, which means that you are a very strong candidate. So bear that in your mind while going there and relax. Know that you're going to get a visa, that nothing will stop you from getting the visa. So don't fear, don't fidget. Don't fidget.
Okay, sir.
You know, it's normal to, even me, the day I went there, like I always say, what made me to, I never, before I entered inside that place, I was like, I had confidence in myself, because it's not today that I started attending interviews and a lot of things, and I'm also a lecturer, so I can stand before 1,000 persons and address them. So I had that confidence. But what made me to shake, what made my mind to start shaking was when we entered the main place for the interview. We were like 5, and the first person that went, I was the 5th person on the queue, and then the first person that went, I think one question was, it was just one question that they asked him. And then the next thing, what I heard, the viewer said, "I'm sorry, you do not qualify for visa." Okay. The next person next went, within 1 minute, "I'm sorry, you do not qualify." 3 persons before me were denied right in my presence. Almost at that point, I said, is this how this thing is? So with all my confidence and everything, I became afraid a bit. But thank God, immediately when the VO came in, immediately she came in. I mean, the VO that interviewed me, immediately she came in. I was the one that, threw the greetings to her. I say, "Hi, good morning." So she said, "Good morning." So I asked her, "How was your summer break?" We just finished like two days summer break in Nigeria. Then that was on Monday, Tuesday. Then my interview was on Wednesday. So I asked her, "How was your summer break?" So she said, "Fine." So she smiled. She smiled at me. That smile she gave me brought my nerves down. So we started having the conversation. She asked me only 2 questions. So, and give me my visa. So I think you just need to find, I just gave you this as my own tips of how I calmed my nerves down. So you know what should calm you down, so that you don't, because these guys are psychologists. So when you are fidgeting like that, or when you are so fast, or when you are so fast to answer their questions, they might start sensing something different from what you think you have come to do. So, and it becomes a challenge for you. Then secondly, where you mentioned something, whereas a place you mentioned about internship, please avoid it in your interview. Internships are what universities does here to help students to gain industrial experience. But in the eyes of the immigration, it is not what you think it is. It's not what we think it is, because they will think that you're coming to work. Internship is a work. Internship is work here. Yeah. So, and but there are arrangements when you want to do internships. Your university always gives you, there is something we call CPT, curriculum practical training, which allows you to do internship for you to gain industrial experience. And you will combine with your academic work so that you will become a balanced person upon your graduation. But in the eyes of immigration, they are not seeing it that way. So don't talk about that place. They asked you, why are you going to US? Say they are giving you internship. No. Say something that is different from that, like in your academics, why you're going to US or why you're going to study this course. You know your onions when it comes to political science. That I like that area. You say something about the research you carried out, which you need to carry out more research on that. I think that works. Then, well, there could be other reasons that is bringing you to come and study that course. You could also mention that, just like that, professor that I wanted to try to get his pronunciation of his name well, so that you'll be able to articulate well. So you talk about why you want to study the course. Probably you have a kind of research interest, a kind of similar research interest with the professor. You can also talk about the cultural experience you're going to gain from studying in the United States, because United States, the culture here, what happens here is quite different from what happens in Nigeria. So you really need to come and learn what happens here so that you can share it, and when you go back to Nigeria, you can share it with your own in your own community. Let them be part, kind of that. Then you can also talk about learning from other students, because US is a country that gives opportunity for diversity, equity, and inclusion. So which means people from different backgrounds, from different nationalities, different countries, different ethnic group, they are here in the United States. So when you come here, you're supposed you will mingle with them, you mix up with them and learn a lot from them. So these are the reasons. So just articulate these points. These are genuine reasons you are coming to US to study this course. So just avoid that area of internship. That one is there. When you come here, that one is an arrangement between you and school, and not it has nothing much to do with your immigration. So I think these are the points I made when you were talking. I don't know if my friend Obinna has something he observed when you were talking. He can also make his own suggestion and comment.
Yeah, Stanley. Good day, everyone. My name is Obi. So, the interview session that Sam had with Brooks was good overall. The good thing is that I think he has already done his homework. He was able to get funding, and I think he has what it takes to show that he's a serious student. But one point I want to highlight is when Sam asked Brooks, why did you choose to attend NIU? So I think there is an important point Brooks missed, and that is the funding he got from NIU.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
he talked about other things like research, which is good, but the fact is that all of the things he talked about can be done at other schools too. So those things are not special actually, but getting money to go to school for free is a big deal. So I think you should brag about that in your interview, and
Yes.
I think that's just the thing you need to try to incorporate.
Yes. Yeah, that's a very good point. It will even escape my mind. That's good.
Yeah.
Because
So
it will also, it will also control the further questions they might ask, because they might come to ask you a question of funding. So with that, if you just come up with it, if you brag with it, they might not have time to start asking you about funding again.
So I think too that that was like a very good point that Obina did point out. That's like a killer point, to be honest. Somehow, like from my own little knowledge, I've observed that these guys value things about scholarships and awards very well. Sometimes we might belittle them over there in Nigeria, but here, any particular award you win shows like a higher rating of a scholarly activity for you. So I think that's like a very good point why you're coming to NIU. Other ones, like Obina did say, you can always find them there, right? So the research you're doing, you can even do it in Nigerian schools, but for them to decide to pay for your education and allow you to do things that you're doing, that's like a very strong killer point. So just like overall, I just want to also add that sometimes some of your answers looks like you crammed them. Like Obina did say, you've done your homework, but you also need to learn the mastery of communication. Talk in such a way that the person will just think that maybe you came up with the answers while you were talking with him, not knowing that you found ways to jot down the answers before. So here's what I think you can also do. For example, if I want to go talk about something somewhere, what I do is like almost every time I try to pick it up and go through them almost every day. So what you can do is like most of these questions that we have asked you and those you think that you can be asked during a visa interview, you can just map out like your answers, write them down and go through them constantly in such a way that your brain knows how to start a given answer and knows where to stop in case if they twist the question somehow. For example, why are you coming to NIU? How do you want to answer that question? Do you want to start because they gave me a fully funded scholarship as a GA position, as a GA in the school? So if you don't take time and practice it that way, go over them. When you're answering the question and you miss out a given point, it will look like you're cramming and you start stammering. Do you understand?
Yeah, that's
Yes, sir.
a good point.
Yeah. So that's like a very good one. And just like everybody else has said, for the school to give you around $28,000, which is not a small amount of money, it means you're good. Don't forget that. Don't forget that you are good. Because the way these guys will stare at you, give you like a stare down, make you feel like you're not enough, but you are super enough. Amongst thousands of applications NIU received, they gave you an order. So on the interview panel today, $28,000 or more. It means you're good. That's like a lot of money. Do you understand? So
Yes, sir.
just go back and then do the finishing touches.
I have, please, I want to ask or seek clarification.
All right.
Yeah. I learned that June 4th is Americans' Independence Day celebration. So can I ask, because I know in the first seconds, whenever I go for an interview, I always feel agitated. There is this anxiety in me. So can I actually, if immediately after the VO greets me or I greet the VO, can I actually ask him, how is he preparing for Independence Day celebrations? To calm me down, to calm him as well down.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the independence is July 4th, actually. And someone just typed it in the chat.
Yeah.
It is July, not
Okay, yeah,
June.
yeah, it's true. So it's still far. So it's
Okay.
So I think too that if you make up your mind that you're going to have a conversation with the VU, I don't like interviews personally. So before I went for my own interview, yeah, I've lost a lot of opportunities in this life because I messed up at interview levels.
yeah.
If it's in terms of writing things down and stating my points of things I've done, achievements, I can do that very well to get me to the next stage. But once it gets to interview, I used to miss out on those opportunities. So before I came to the US, I had like gotten like 2 interviews to at First Bank, and I swore that I was going to take those interviews because I needed it to prepare myself for the visa interview. I know I was not going to take the job because, of course, it was just like barely a month for me to come to the US. So I swore that I was going to do those interviews. And guess what? I got one of the jobs, and the other one, they had to call me back again for an extra interview. So you have to make up your mind that it's a conversation. So you can't just walk up to someone and start answering questions. So when the VO asks to take your document, you give the person good morning with a smile on your face. Yes. It's not mechanical. It's just to somehow calm down your nerves and have a conversation with the person. I did say interview, have a conversation with the person. The person asks you a question, give the person your answer. In my own case, the VO was asking me one question, then paused. Something happened. My city is pronounced as Worcester, but he called, I don't know, because of the way it's spelled, he called it, was it Worcester or something? I was the one that corrected the view, but he nodded. I was like, yo, he nodded. So those were like nerve calming moments for him. So he knew that I didn't just come for an interview, like I know what's going on. At some point he paused and was started taking my biometrics. I was the one that asked him, should I continue my explanation? And he said, no, I get it, you're a web developer. You know, that kind of thing. So you have to do some mind games before you leave your house. I'm telling you, when you get there, you know how the situation is. You likely see more than 1,000 Nigerians at the embassy, if I'm not joking.
I'm telling you.
Before 6 o'clock, you've seen more than 50 people in the embassy. So it can be mind-boggling. And just like Stanley did say, you can get there, 2 or 3 people before you have been denied. The guy in front of me was denied with his wife. If you see all the English this Bobo was speaking, he has been denied before. It's a deficit. And so if you're not careful, it will just enter into your mind. But just know that you have done your homework. You have to start somewhere. You got a funding, and the school gave you I-20 for you to do the interview. You are more than enough. And then go there and have the interview with the VO. I'm telling you. So.
Yeah. I think Samuel, you are good to go. You have it strong. So just calm your nerves down. Nothing. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. There's nothing big about this. Yeah, there's nothing big about it. So just articulate your point. Then another thing, mind you that it may not flow the way we have asked you here, because that's another mistake people make. When they attend a mock interview, because mock interview is always, why this course? Why US? Why this? What is your funding? So you will just stream, put your mind that this is how the question is going to be. And then when you get there, they now ask you something that is not that. It throws you off balance. I listened when I was preparing for my visa interview. I watched I attended most of these visa interviews, mock interviews, and I also listened to a lot of YouTube videos of some people who have gotten visa before. So one guy, I think he's a Ghanaian. So he explained his own experience when he went to embassy. He said before he got to embassy, he was just very happy, attending interviews. And so all the interviews that they have conducted for him, people like us that helped to prepare him, it was just the same flow of why this course, why US, why this, why that. So he now went there with that mindset of, they are going to ask me why US, why this course. And upon getting there, after collecting after putting up, submitting his I-20 to the VO, the first question that the VO asked him was, what is your date of birth? That's funny. But that was what happened. What's your date of birth? This guy said, That immediately she asked her that question. She asked him that question. He was startled. He doesn't know, it threw him off.
Yeah.
So he stammered 20th, 25th. So that stammering made them to deny him visa. At that point, the VO told him, I'm sorry, you do not qualify for visa. Please, can we apply? Hi. All the what do you call it? All the practice he has done and everything. Nobody has just that. Because you never expect, there was a least question he expected from them. Why would they ask you? Why would they ask your date of birth? What business? You are seeing my date of birth. Everything is on my DS-160. Everything is on my I-20. You are seeing everything there. So why asking me date of birth again? You know. So, but why I'm telling you why I shared this guy's story. But the guy said he was denied that first time. Then he went the second time, and then he got his visa. So, so why I shared this this story with you is because it's possible that they might not follow the sequential how you were asked in this interview now. They might just come up with something different. Might not. They will can just ask you any question from anywhere. So just be ready and be open-minded to anything they're gonna ask you.
Okay. Can I add something to what you said now? Just like so what I would advise anybody who is going for the interview to do is just on your own, search out possible questions that you feel could be asked in the visa interview and make your own custom answers. You're not cramming it. You're not cramming it. Just anticipate that someone can ask you, what do you do for a living now? What was your undergraduate studies on if you're going for a master's or a PhD work? Just anticipate that someone can ask you, what are your postgraduate studies plan? Someone will ask you, what is your research work on? You know, any question, it could just come from anywhere. So what I personally did was I had like a list of possible questions that could be asked. And guess what? One of them was what they asked me, what do I currently do for a living? Why am I going to Worcester Polytechnic Institute? They were asking me if I've traveled out of Nigeria before, or if I've gone to the US before, and a couple of other questions as well. So when you have these custom questions, you go over them over and over again, not cramming, just to get your mind acclimatized to most of those question patterns so that nothing takes you by surprise. Attend other further interviews if you can, if you still have time. And again, don't use other people's answers for your own question. You have a experience. See, I think that the visa interview is an opportunity for you to, in 3 minutes, tell the visa office about yourself. Don't use other people's. You see them. They say you see a write testimony loading, and you go and copy the answer. You will not know why the viewer is asking you that question. Tell your own story. Tell your own story. And again, finally, communication is 80% non-verbal than it is verbal. Some, like Stanley did say, some of these guys have had training on psychology, so they're almost like mind readers. So you can be telling the viewers something, but your body is communicating something differently. You are answering questions and you're not looking them squarely into the eye to answer your question. They might not look at you, but they might use their side eye to look at you. So master most of those things. If you can, watch YouTube videos on how to communicate, look the person in the eye. If it is possible, try to communicate fluently, know how to just connect your words if it is possible. They will not look at some of these things, but I'm just saying, just to be prepared for all of those things. So I think if you do all of this, you're going to have like a successful outing. But per adventure, things go wrong. It's not the end of the world. Like Stanley did say, you could try again. People don't usually give this kind of advice so that you don't feel like your word has ended. So you could always try again. But I think all of us on this panel tried once and God did it for us. So he can always do it for you guys. All right. I wish you all the best. Trusting that we're going to see you anytime you're going to come into the US and you're going to have a successful time for your studies as well.
Yeah, definitely. Right? You will be at NIU very soon.
Yeah.
By God's grace. Yeah. And I'll be happy to welcome you here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next person. Okay. I think Micah is here. Obi, Micah is here. So take Micah.
Okay, so I will take my leave now. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much, everybody. I wish you the best.
Yeah, my brother.
Okay.
Thank you, Senior Obi. Thank you,
Sam, for coming.
Thank you so much. Nice to have you on the call, sir.
Yeah, likewise. One of these days we are
Thank you so much.
Connect.
Yeah. I definitely. Maybe through Stanley, I will. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, boss. Thank you.
All right.
So, Obi, Micah is here.
Okay. So let me turn on my video for a moment so he can see me. So this is quite early in DeKalb, Illinois. So how are you guys doing? So who is Micah?
Micah, put your video.
Can I see your video just for a moment?
It's not for a moment.
Okay.
It's for the interview.
Okay, your background is quite dark.
My background is very.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can put on the light.
No, that's fine. You can just turn it off. I just wanted to see who I'm talking to.
No.
Okay.
No. If it is possible to put on the light, you can put on the light, because in an interview, a lot of things we also look at your face and every other thing, so that we can be able to make our suggestions on what we think is the best for you.
Okay, just give me a minute.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I think I'm good to go.
Okay.
right.
So there is something I always tell people who are preparing to go for their F1 visa interview. And the thing is that this interview, based on my experience, is one of the easiest you are probably going to experience. So I always tell people to not be nervous during the interview. And I'm not trying to be cocky here. This is just based on my experience. Provided you have done your homework, I mean, you applied to different schools, and by the grace of God, you got funding, and you are able to prove that you're a good student, I think your chances are already high. Okay. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions just to help you to get ready for your interview. So do you have an interview date already?
Yes, June 20th.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, it is quite far, like more than 1 month.
Yes.
Okay. So when you go for your interview, the first question they ask you is to pass your, I think, I-20 and your passport. Okay, so my first question to you is, please, where are you going to in the US?
Okay, good morning, sir. I'm going to Northern Illinois University at DeKalb, Illinois.
Okay. Please, how did you know about Northern Illinois University?
Okay, it came highly recommended by a senior friend of mine, and amongst the other schools which I did my own research on, I felt the school would be the perfect fit for me.
So I'll be taking some pauses to write down some feedback for you. Okay.
No problem.
Okay. Okay, please, why did you choose to attend Northern Illinois University?
Okay, NIU is one of those schools that, sorry, let me take that again. NIU is one of those schools out there that has a pathway for career success, critical thinking, and lifelong learning. And they also offer scholarships, which I was opportune to get. And I feel with the opportunity that has been given to me, it's one offer that I want to take advantage of.
Okay. Please, how many schools did you apply to?
Okay, I applied to 8 schools and I got 8 admission offers.
Wow.
Okay, that's very good. So what will you do after your studies?
Okay, I have a passion for nonprofit management, and I'm seeing myself coming back to Nigeria to have a nonprofit organization that works. In the past, I've done nonprofit and non-governmental organization work, but I see myself doing more to have an internationally recognized NPO stroke NGO here in Nigeria, modeled like the Make-A-Wish Foundation in the United States, and just to give back to society, because that's what I'm passionate about.
Okay, thank you very much. So
Thank you, sir.
this is the end of my mock interview session with you. So overall, I think you did well. I mean, you were able to answer all of the questions I asked you, but I think you could improve your responses to some of the questions. So let me just go to the questions I want to give you feedback on. So I asked you, how did you know about NIU? So you talked about doing research, but I think that answer may be too vague. So it would be good if you could mention what resources you used for your research. Maybe if you used, there are some popular websites that people use to search for schools. One of them is I think US World and News Report, something like that. So, I mean, if you could mention the resources you used, whatever website you used, or maybe a software that you used, so that would be good. Okay. Then I also asked you,
Okay.
Why did you choose to attend NIU? So you talked about getting a scholarship, which is good, but I also think that you did not specify what kind of scholarship you got. The scholarship you got could be something that waives just 10% of your tuition. Please
Can you mute me? Let me mute them.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you talked about having a scholarship, which is good, but you did not specify what kind of scholarship you got. It could be a scholarship that waives 10% of your tuition, 20% of your tuition, which may not be as good as something that waives all of the tuition. Okay, so it is good to tell them that if you got a tuition waiver, I don't know, you should tell them that, oh, you have a scholarship that waives all of your tuition. So that is going to help you to focus on your academics. Okay. Then, as someone who is going for a graduate program in the United States, research should be important to you. So I think you should also talk about your research. Okay. Or maybe your research interest. Let me just put it this way. Okay, it will also further strengthen your argument that you are a serious student. You know what you're going to school to do. Because the thing, okay, let me say it this way. So there is an opportunity cost to going to school. Okay, so when you decide to go to school, the opportunity cost is that you are going to miss out on the income you could earn from working. So going to school, you should like have very strong reasons for going to school. Okay, so I'm thinking, talking about your research, maybe in one sentence, going to strengthen your case.
Okay.
So I think all of the other answers were excellent, and I don't think I have any other feedback to give to you. But overall, I mean, you did very well. Just try to incorporate the points I just highlighted to you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Yeah, you have really done well, Micah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, your responses were okay. So, but my little advice on what to add to beef up that area where you talked about your nonprofit, I believe what you should say there is that you already have a non-profit in Nigeria, Make a Wish, this thing. So because I have read your SOP on several locations, and then I have seen what you highlighted that you have been doing with your non-profit. So you have a non-profit in Nigeria that is Make a Wish, this thing. Then it has done a lot of things in it. So you are going to study in the United States in order to probably make it give it a global recognition. Give your nonprofit a global recognition, because from the skills and the knowledge you're going to gain from this course here in the United States, it will help you to, when you return back to Nigeria, you will expand the scope of the services you offer through your nonprofit. So the skills you're going to gain here will help you to expand what you're doing, and then coming to the United States and then going back to Nigeria to continue with that. We give it a better and a more global recognition. So I think that is how you should be able to, you should articulate that question or that answer you wanted to give there.
Thank you, boss.
Yeah. Be that as it may. Okay, we didn't say anything in the area of, okay, I think, and then another thing is that I think the non-profit is a what do you call it? The non-profit serves as your home ties. It's a very strong home ties for you, because part of the things they look at when they are talking about your home ties is what could bring you back to Nigeria. So that's why I always advise people, before you go for it, make sure that you are actually doing a very good job in Nigeria. You have a job in Nigeria that is bringing you back. So if such question comes to your interview, you brag about it, that this is what you're doing in Nigeria, and you're going to the United States to gain more experience and more knowledge, so that you will return back and expand it. Something like that. It establishes and gives you a strong home ties. And another thing that gives you better chance of getting your visa is your funding. For NIU to give you such an amount of money free, it means you're a strong candidate. And the visa officers knows that this kind of person could be relevant to the United States economy. And what they are looking for, part of the things they are looking for, is not just to inculcate in you, but also to gain from you. So the knowledge and expertise that you possess. So I think you have what it takes to be here, and I will continue to work with you, and both privately and generally, to see that you come here. And I'll be very happy to welcome most of you here. I'm happy that
Thank you, boss.
most people that I worked with, I mentored, are all coming to. They have not been given funding, and because one of the most important thing is that funding part. Once you have that funding, we have kind of gone like 60 or 70%. You have crossed the bridge up to 60 or 70%. So the rest is just like 20 to 30%. You are here. So nothing much stops you from coming here. You just keep practicing. We can also be talking privately in our private chat and all that while we wait for your date of interview. So I think we still have two more persons here, Comfort and Ruth. Emmanuel was supposed to, yeah, Ruth, you are late.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you were supposed to, so that this other guy will take you. Samuel, I actually gave Samuel your I-20 to take you, but you weren't here. So Samuel took Truth. So then I'm now swapping you to Emmanuel. Emmanuel Prince. Emmanuel Prince just joined now. Emmanuel is a PhD student at Texas State. I mean, is it Texas or what?
Yeah, Texas Tech University.
Yeah, Texas Tech University here in the United States. So I think it will be. Let me, Emmanuel, let me send you her I-20 because
So
it was,
Stanley,
yeah.
so I'm thinking that my job is done, right?
Your job is done. You know why we have VOs here? It's not just one person, because when someone is interviewing or when someone is making his or her case, it's left for all other.
Okay.
I always invite a lot of people that are here with me so that we can have diverse advice. That person, what I see, may be different from what you see. So I don't think your job is done. so
Okay, I will just be here for as long as possible.
yes, just try to be online so that if there is any support or any suggestion you could give. We still have a second part of this session today. I have on call Samuel, who is a scholar, a Commonwealth scholar in UK, and then also he's also a Queen Elizabeth Scholarship recipient. And then he will give some kind of step-by-step ways of how to, because currently the application is on and some people joined here just to get information about that and then be able to submit the application. So we are going to take that. Samuel is here. Samuel has been here. So please I just fixed this in today because I know that most of us, we have finished our semester academic activities. So today being Saturday, we just decided to come online and remain here for as long as we can to help a lot of people, because we may not, because I know that by next 2 weeks, we might become busy again with other activities like internships and all that. So today I think is a nice day for us to just calm down and help all these guys in much way we can. So please just still remember your job is not yet done. Sorry, sir, I beg. So Uzioma, let me send you Ruth's I-20 so that you can have information about her.
It's okay. I wait for that.
Yeah, Ruth. So Ruth, you are supposed to, Ruth, you came late. Assuming is your interview day and you came late. What do you think will happen?
That it will be sad.
I beg, try and always make it, because part of the interview this thing ethics is that you have to be there even before your visa officer. So try and always be there try to be there on time. It's so, and then I will advise, if is it Lagos or Abuja you're going to?
I'm going to Abuja.
Okay, so it means you should be close to, you should find a place that is close to that what do you call it, that embassy, because of traffic. Because once it is 7 a.m. they will start assembling you guys in, and they always like to assemble everyone in at once. So when you guys arrive there, most people even arrive there around 5:36 a.m. They will all remain at the gate. But once it is 7, they will start admitting you guys in. So it's always good to be there on time so that you won't, you have a calm mind to talk to the VO. Then I also always advise people, the other people who attend this the visa interview, it's not after your interview, like just like Samuel and Micah that have been interviewed, you just go. Why we always like to bring you guys together to do this interview is so that you can learn from each other. Because when we are correcting Mr. A, we are invariably correcting Mr. B. And when we are correcting Mr. B, Mr. C is also taking some kind of corrections. I know, like I always say, during my time, I attended a lot of these kind of sessions. Most times I just come and remain on the background and be listening to what's happening. And at the end of the day, most times after each of those interviews that I attend, I always get one mistake or the other that I have made in my DS-160. And then I will go back again and retrieve it. You know, DS-160 is one of the most important documents. In fact, if you make any mistake in your DS-160, it may mar your admission process, your visa process. So DS-160 is very, that's why I always advise people, don't be in a haste to submit. In those days, I don't have much experience about it. And then after filling it that first day, I submitted. But thanks to God that there is opportunity for you to retrieve what you submitted and edit. The only thing is that if you retrieve, it is going to change your confirmation ID. So if you retrieve and it changes your confirmation ID, no problem. You can just go to your CGI portal and update it there with the new confirmation ID. So there is no problem with when your confirmation ID changes. The only thing is that your DS-160 has to be has to be submitted 72 hours before your date of interview. For instance, today is Saturday, if your date of interview is Wednesday, it should have been on their portal, submitted, not still on filling stage, submitted as at, let's say, on Sunday. So that I think they usually use those 3 days before your interview to do a kind of background check in all the information you've submitted there. And that's why if you look at, there is a place they also ask about your Facebook and your social media platforms and all that. So most of those things, they carry out background check. US is very good at carrying out background check. Anything you are doing in this country, they must always carry out background check. Even if you're looking for a job, they will carry out background check. If you're looking for anything you want to do, they carry out background check. So that's why they always give that time to do that, for you to submit your your DS-160, so that they will look at every information you've submitted and compare and contrast. Because your course, what you're going to study, should become some kind of related or connected to what you're doing. Like if you're making some posts, if most of you who are following my social media platforms, you will see that most of my posts revolves around education, because I am in education. I am a lecturer in Nigeria. So most of what I say on my social media relates to what I'm doing, to my practical experience. So these are the things. It's not when you are, and then if you have some kind of nude pictures or something that is not good for public sight, you should be able to clear all of them from your social media platforms. And let your social media platform speak of you. Let your social media platform speak what you're actually doing in the society. And if you look at most of the things I post on my social media, apart from education, scholarships, awards, and all that, these are why I make some of those posts on my social media. I'm building kind of my CV, because here in the United States, when you meet someone, like for some of these conferences that I attend, the first thing they always ask you, are you on LinkedIn? When you meet an employer, because why we go to some of these conferences is to network with employers and all that. So most of the employers I've met, the first question they always ask me, are you on LinkedIn? Or what is your social media handle? I just tell them, okay, I'm on LinkedIn. I just give them the link to my LinkedIn. So most of them, they will just send me requests and I accept. And they see, from there, they will see my profile. So your LinkedIn and your social media, other social media platforms should also serve as your CV. So, well, as time goes on, we keep on advising you guys on what to present on your DS-160 and what not to present there. I've always told some of you that before you submit your DS-160, try to probably let me know so that I'll be able to go through it and see what you have there and be able to correct some of the mistakes you have made there that may cause a problem for you at the embassy. So I took this time to give this advice for Emmanuel to actually look at your I-20 and know what to ask you. So I think he has taken his time to look at your I-20. So I leave the stage for Olalekan. You have been losing your hands. I think you can entertain your question after the interview. So just just wait after the interview. We will entertain your question. So Emmanuel, I will leave the stage for you and Ruth so that you do your interview. Then we can make our comments on her responses.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for that that wonderful advice to them about their DS-160, which is one of the most important information and document to fill while going for US interview. Okay, Ruth, are you ready now?
Are you sure she's still there? I think she's no longer on the call. I think she left. I think maybe her network pushed her out. Oh. She's not here. Oh, let me ask her on her private listing.
She's back.
Ruth,
are you here now?
Are you here now?
Okay, yeah, sorry, my network is
It's okay.
fluctuating.
Okay, are you ready for the interview?
Are you ready for the interview now?
Yes, please.
Okay, Mr. Stanley, please, I don't know if you can mute yourself because we're getting a background voice back.
Is it me?
If you can mute yourself, because while you're muted, the sound seems to recycle back to us. Okay, Ruth, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, it's more better now. Okay. So go. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Pass me your documents.
Here they are.
Oh, I see you're going to Northern Illinois University.
Yes, I am. I'm going to Northern Illinois University for my master's in anthropology.
Okay, so I see that you have a very big funding here. Can you tell me how you go about this? How you got about this funding?
Okay. I submitted a competitive application, giving an SOP, 3 recommendation letter from my recommenders, and I had 2 interviews with 4 faculty members.
Okay. So can you run me through your educational background?
There's a mosque around here. I've been changing position because of this.
Okay, but just say we are an interview. Just say what you think, what you want to tell them over there. So if there's any need for correction, we'll go about it later. So I go again. Can you run me through educational background?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
I said, can you run me through your educational background?
Oh, okay. So I have a BSc in accounting, and I hold a first-class degree in accounting as well from the Federal University of Agriculture, Makurdi in Nigeria.
So when did you have your last education?
In 2019.
Okay, oh, that's a very long time now. So since 2019, what have you been doing?
Okay, so I've been working as a research associate with the Federal University of Agriculture in the Department of Anthropology.
Okay. So can you tell me about Northern Illinois University?
Okay, Northern Illinois University is situated in DeKalb, Illinois, and the school has a rich and diversified curriculum, and that's why I'm pursuing my master's degree in the school, and it has other infrastructural facilities, good and qualified experienced lecturers as well, and good graduate coordinators who give students appropriate answers to all their questions, and that's why I love the school.
So how did you get to know about the school?
Okay, I got to know about the school through an educational fair, through Education USA, and then I used Google to search for the professor whom his research interest aligns with mine.
Okay, can you tell me why you decided to switch from accounting to anthropology? What sparked your interest?
Okay, so while working as a research associate, my passion developed for anthropology, and I'll be researching on how local cultures and practices influences financial systems and how they are being assessed in Nigeria.
Okay. Do you have any relative in the UX?
No,
Have you been to the US before?
no, I've not had reason to go there, but your approval will help me pursue my master's in the US.
So why should I approve your visa?
Okay, I believe approving my visa will give me the opportunity to access quality education and help me develop research and communication skills, which I will be needing while I come back to Nigeria to take up the role of a faculty member at the department where I work.
Okay, I got to know you're going to do this anthropology as a master's degree, and there are a whole lot of good universities in Nigeria here and Germany, UK that can still offer you the same course in a better way. So why did you choose to do it in the UX?
Okay, I chose to do it in the US because United States of America will provide me the opportunity to access quality education, which I would say is a bit higher than what we have here in Nigeria, and I'll have access to first-hand experience from qualified lecturers. And I have the plan to also come up with a research hub relating to anthropology when I come back. So I would encourage young stars like in undergraduates and high school students.
So what's your post-study plan?
Upon my degree, when I'm done with my master's degree, I intend to come back to Nigeria to take up the research role in the faculty where I work.
What would this degree do for you?
Okay, so this degree, like I earlier mentioned, will place me in a higher position of taking up, this degree will place me in a higher position of taking up the research role as a faculty member in the department. So I won't be working as a research associate anymore, but then I'll be an assistant lecturer.
Okay, everything looks good. I'll be approving your visa. So have this paper, it will give you information on how to pick up your passport.
Thank you. Please, corrections, please.
Okay. Yeah, I have some, I know some other persons in the listening to us still have some correction, but let me just throw some of my observations. First thing, let me start from the last question I asked you. What would this degree do for you? Okay, you said it to place you in a higher position then, but one thing is important. The degree will first have an impact in you as a person before placing you in that higher position.
Okay, noted, sir.
So this degree will give you the required knowledge or expertise in the area of anthropology, thereby helping you to take up a higher position.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Okay, so now first of all, you talk about the impact of the degree for you, and then now you giving back, taking up a higher position. Then you're be giving back to the world, to the society, which is Nigeria. Okay. So don't forget that part, because before you take up a higher position, your degree must have an impact. You don't just take a higher position without the degree having an impact in you first. So what will you be giving out if you take up a higher position if you don't have an impact in you? Okay, so that's one. Then two, I asked you a question. I see you're going to Northern Illinois University. Say yes, I'm going to Northern University to just take a master's degree in this. Please let us know who, if you're going to be working with a professor, who you're going to work with. It's important.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
what are they? Then when I asked you how you got the funding, you just said I submitted a complete XOP, 3 recommendation, and then I was interviewed by 4 faculty members. Please do us the favor of mentioning the faculty members' name, if you can remember at least two of them. Don't just mention 4 faculty members, because these guys, they like you to give them facts. Because them, as you're mentioning it, they might just go and Google the name of the person, and to know if the person is actually in that university.
It's true.
And then you see that the person is in the university, it gives them a
Network.
yeah, you both academic institute are not just going to blow up a audited XOP. Okay, now if you already have publications, please don't. Do you have any publication now? Do you have a publication, a research publication, a paper? Can you hear me?
Ruth.
Yes, I can.
I said, do you have any research paper you published, either with someone or something like that?
Yes, I do.
And then if you have, those are some of the things I will sell you up. Oh, which the SOP must detail your previous research engagement and your current and future research engagement. Okay, then you now talk about your CV, and then your CV will have the highlights of the publication. So you talk about it, that's my well-detailed CV, which has inclusion of my detailed publication, like understand in that CV. Then you now talk about, okay, how you were invited for an interview. Then after the interview, you were graciously awarded. I don't know if you get the lyrics of the steps on how I put it. So,
yes.
And then the point of when I asked you, please don't forget to link why you changed from accounting to anthropology. It's not just because you've been working. It's not just because you've been working as a research assistant or something in the anthropology department. No, that shouldn't be a reason why I want to do anthropology. Something must have pushed you to do anthropology. Is it because of the research they do? Is it because of maybe you find out something that you want to solve? Let it be that you want to solve a problem. Not just because you are working as a research assistant in the anthropology department. No, that doesn't really make sense. Okay. So even though you have the funding, let them not see that. Let them not have an immigration. Let them not see an immigration intent from you, because that's one thing they don't want to see. Okay. But then for you to be working in a faculty, like I said, okay, for this number of years, since 2019 till date, you've been working here, and then you've seen how the research have been done in this same department, and then you've been involved in the research that have been done there. So you found maybe you saw 1 or 2 loopholes, 1 or 2 gaps you want to fill as a person. So that drew your attention, that drew your interest to study anthropology, because you found love, like you've already found a zeal in that said discipline, no longer because for you to have left accounting for a number of years, working on anthropology, like researching about anthropology, should give you a good desire, a good zeal to work for anthropology in your master's. So that's good enough. So, but try to find a way to sell it out. Don't just say because I work in the Department of Anthropology as a research assistant. No, that doesn't make sense. Then when I ask you, you were not able to tell me your roles in that department. If I ask you, what do you do presently? Tell me, I work at the department of this associate school, where my job roles are this, that, and that. I do this, or I help in writing research papers. I do this, I do that, and all of that. That makes more sense than just telling me I work in a. And then when I asked you your raw material education background, you just told me I studied accounting first class at so school. You didn't tell me the year you graduated. And I need to know the year you graduated in that said school. So that makes it more detailed. And then while you're doing this, you should also try to watch at your timing, because you just have little time to say all these things. So come up with the better information first. Then when I asked you about why you want to study this course at the to tell me about to tell me about Northern Illinois University, you just told me, oh, that how you talk little about the educational part. You're just telling me that they have good professor, higher than the one you get in Nigeria. Please, not because you're going to the US and then you're trying to run down other countries or your country. Okay, find a way of coming in. Find a way of, because you've all long been in Nigeria. Then why did you even do your first degree in Nigeria if Nigeria doesn't have any good thing? But you did your first degree here. So find a way of bringing in while you want to study in this school, without damaging or without painting a bad image of another country or maybe another place. Okay. Oh, I want to study here because the US has the well state of arts that could give me the well research engagements, and they talk about the curriculum. or you found that you Googled about schools that are offering anthropology, and you found out that US schools has a very better curriculum and students to staff ratio engagement. So this is some of the basis that could form why you want to do this course in this school. And then you told me about Education USA, how you got to know about the school. You said that I got to know about the school for Education USA. That's fine. But doing your own personal research too, and then mentioning the research of a professor in that school that drew your attention shows that yes, you are a researcher. You've actually researched about your way out to study anthropology in masters, and then you were able to find out good deals, not just because you're an Education USA member. I don't know if you get. That means if you're not an Education USA member, that means you would have been able to research about universities. Is that what it means? So even when you're going through Google, like my own, what I answered in that question was, why researching about writing about a paper, reading articles online, I stumbled the publication of so person. I just mentioned the staff, the university, and then the article got my interest. Then from there, that shows that, oh, you're a good researcher. You've googled about the school, you've researched about the school, and then you already have a research alignment. Okay, you already have a research interest aligning with someone at the institution. Oh, let me just hit it up from here so that other people can make their comments. Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, I'll take note of that.
Yeah.
Wow. So thank you so much, Emmanuel. You have really done a very wonderful job on Ruth. Ruth, you will have your visa in Jesus' name.
Amen.
So I think Emmanuel did a very robust interview for you. In fact,
I didn't see it coming.
and he dribbled you very well. I like such. He dribbled you very well. When before I came to US, when I was applying for this visa, I attended a lot. Like I said, I attended a lot of visa mock interviews. So there was this guy. What's his name? He's currently he's my friend now. We connected when I arrived in US. His name is Bolu or so. One Yoruba guy. This guy, all the views that will interview other people, we the applicants, we run away from him. Why? Because the guy is always raw, and he will drill you. In fact, the guy hardly gives people visa. There was a time after I've arrived US. There was a time I was talking with him. I told him, "Guy, you wicked, though. Because most times at the end of the visa, he will just tell you, I don't see any reason I should give you this visa." but I think what the guy did helped. The guy interviewed me once or twice, and the guy dribbled me, and some of the corrections the guy gave me made me to even go back to my DS-16 and retrieve it and start making those corrections again, because I was able to. It was the area of area of funding. I had that time. I had a little deficit after my funding, so I think what I used was I was trying to say that I have funding that I'm gonna complete it through family. Yes, through family. So he told me that since I'm already working in a university, and since I will be on study leave with pay, there is need for me to link it up with how I'm gonna cover my deficit.
Okay.
And then the first interview the guy did me, he didn't give me visa. he denied me visa. The second time he interviewed me, he said he will give me the visa, but look at what I'm gonna do. But it's well, that guy was good. So I think Emmanuel used that guy's style he dribbled you very well. And some other people during the interview, they will just come and do some kind of peripheral thing. Like one guy, there's a lady, Cynthia. Cynthia is very nice. Anything you say, Cynthia will say you are good. But it's not always good, because why we are in this interview is to point out your mistakes and tell you hit it on your head, hit the nail on its head, because if we don't correct it here, you might go there and make mistakes, and it will not be good for you. So the only place I can just add to what, because Emmanuel covered almost everything I wanted to, because when you were talking, I was jotting down something. So from his corrections, he has pointed out most of the things that I jotted that I wanted to correct you on. But just a kind of example of when you're talking about how this course is going to help you, or how it will work on your life, how it's going to help you in your future career development, where you said you will come back, it will help you to migrate from your current level to the next level. Yeah, that's a good answer. But let me tell you what I answered, because that question came to me during my interview. I think, like I told you, 2 questions was asked.
Okay.
Why this master's? My answer on that thing was that this master's will give me, doing this master's in this area in the United States, will give me wide range of knowledge, and will help me to become an expert in my field, so that because this master's is a professional master's, and for me to be a balanced lecturer, I need both professional and academic experience. So this master's is going to give me the knowledge, the professional knowledge that I require to teach students more professionally and more practically than theoretically, because theories are always there, but practical is more important to the modern day, the workplace we have today. So it's going to help me to have that kind of robust knowledge. Then, and now attached, it will also help me to be promoted from my current position as a graduate assistant to assistant lecturer. So you see how I flew. About how it's going to help me in my area of to widen my horizon. Then talked about it will now lift me up. So these are, and the person that advised me on this was that Bolu guy. Because that time I was saying, why this master's? I want to go. I was thinking, if I say I want to go and do the master's and in the United States, I was giving some other reasons, but he told me that those reasons that I'm giving are not beneficial to me. That in interview you should be a kind of selfish, because you are going, why you are going to US is for something that will be beneficial to you first before the society. You know, I was talking about how my master's will help the society and all that and all that and all that. But you need to first, it is only when you help yourself that I can help society. There's something I used to tell some of my friends then that we were in Nigeria. You know, we started our process of helping people online to, you know, gain knowledge about traveling abroad. But that was the point. At a point, I told my friend that, you know, what we are doing is good, but I think we should, because I have a friend like this Edu Africa Scholars that I established. I have a friend, he's in UK, I mean, he's in Finland right now. He's an Erasmus scholar, Erasmus Mundus scholar. So we are colleagues in Michael Akbara University. And we were, you know, talking what can we do for the society? We wanted to establish something like this while we were in Nigeria. I now came up and told him that, my brother, it's good that we have this good intention to do, but I don't think we will succeed well when we are still in Nigeria and then telling people how to live Nigeria. It is when you leave that you now tell us how you left. That when you have not left and you are telling people to leave, some people will ask, you that is telling me to leave, don't you want to leave? So these are the things. So we had the money to build the website. We had the money to establish it then. But I told him, let's calm down and focus more on our applications, because that time we were submitting a lot of applications. We submitted both Commonwealth, both Chevening, a lot of applications, Erasmus Mundus. We were submitting a lot of applications, scholarship applications, and they were giving us a lot of rejection letters, all these breakfast letters. But we were accepting it in good faith, and we were moving on until we were able to get what we have today. So immediately we arrived. I arrived United States, I think I left Nigeria in August 10th, and then he left Nigeria in August 15th. So we all arrived. When we settled down, we now started planning on how we can build on this, our network. And today, the network has started helping people, and that aim which we established it is being achieved right now, and we are happy about it. So why I say this is because for you to get yourself, for you to talk about what you want to do, why this master's is relevant to you, you should talk about how it's going to be relevant to you personally first, before you talk about how you're going to benefit the society. Just like I advised Micah earlier, he's going for the master's to give his non-profit organization in Nigeria a global recognition. That to him is personal, and it is a very convincing reason for someone to go and get abroad education. So these are the points. That's why I always tell you guys, after your interview, you stay back, you can get corrections from some other people's responses. So thank you so much. And you have really done well. I think we have one more person to be interviewed. Comfort. Comfort, are you there? Are you ready?
Okay, please, before we go to Comfort, I just remember one thing I was supposed to mention to Ruth.
Okay.
The issue of she has a long gap from her education, 2019 till date. So one way she can use to cut that off is, okay, say after 2019 you graduated, or you proceeded for your 1 year mandatory NYSC, at least that one. You've cut off 1 year from the years you're supposed to be telling them why you have not proceeded for your master's all this way. So if you talk about that, you're not talk about how you came into research assistant or something in the university where you're working. Thank you very much. And then your funding, you should know what to say about that. I believe you must have been practicing about it. I forgot to ask you.
My dad will be offering my funding.
So that's fine.
All right. So in addition to what he has said, I think this issue of covering your gap, I think you should do more of that on your your DS-160. I've always told you guys, I always want to look at your DS-160 so that those things will be, because I know during my time I had a space. Between the time I finished my NYSC, I didn't remember that I should cover those spaces. Between the time I finished my NYSC and when I got a lecturing job, I was actually interning with Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, but I didn't see it as something relevant. So I didn't put it. So that there was that gap. So one of the interviews I attended, they said that gap needs to be covered. So I had to go back and cover that gap. So if you have any gap between the time you finished your studies or the time you finished your NYSC and the time you got your current job, because in your DS-160, the first question about your experience, your job experience is current job. Then after that, after you have finished filling it, they'll ask you, do you have previous work experience? If you click yes, it will now bring another space for you to fill those previous work experiences. So that's where you should be able to cover those gaps. So take that as a correction. If you have not done it, you can still, like I said, you can still retrieve your your DS-160. And
okay, I've not even submitted. I'm not even done filling that work experience part. That's where I stopped.
Okay. At least this mock interview will give you an eye opener.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you know what to fill there and cover all spaces. Make sure that those spaces are covered.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Comfort. Unmute yourself by yourself. Unmute. Yes. Comfort. Unmute yourself. Why can't you unmute yourself? I've given you permission to unmute yourself. I asked you to unmute. I have given you permission. Just click on mute. Because others, I didn't even stop others from, probably it's from your this thing. Okay, you know what? Just log out and log in again by yourself. Then when you log in, click on connect audio. Then when you connect audio, don't mute yourself. All right, so while she's doing that, I think Samuel, you can, let's take the second part so that before by the time she's coming back, we can now take her this and leave. So Samuel, my scholar, you have the floor. I beg, help your people as you got the scholarship. Samuel is a scholar. Samuel is a Commonwealth scholar who
Hello, I'm
what is that person saying? Wait, I'll get back to you. Samuel is a scholar. He's a scholar. He got his master's through Commonwealth Scholarship, and when he got that, before that he was also a scholar. He also got the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship. Yeah, he's also NMPC Total National Award scholar. So the guy is scholar all around, and he's very strong in he has been getting a lot of scholarships. So that's why me, just like United States does. United States of America, what they do is they search for talents in different countries. And when they see that you are very strong, they will just grab you without wasting time. So in my networking, I always look for strong people, talents who can always come and help young people and motivate them and lift them up and put them where they're gonna be. So when reading his profile, he's a very strong candidate that can help in this area. So Samuel, you have your floor. Please help them. The deadline, I think, is coming up soon. So the information you give them here will go a long way, because this will be on record, and we are going to put it on our YouTube channel, so that those who are not present here and who will want to participate in that application process can always click the YouTube and also listen to you and your voice notes. Thank you. You have the floor.
How long do I have?
Let's say between 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay. All right. Good day. I don't think I have so much interview to do and so much introduction to do. He has already said everything. I'm Samuel Nujako, and I'm a recent graduate of MSc Biotechnology from the University of Chester in the UK. And I'll be telling you about the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship, just in case some of you are interested in it, how to go about it, how to put in your application and have success, like have a successful application process. So first of all, I would like to say that for the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship, if you're applying, you need to apply to both the school and to the scholarship. Some programs, some kind of scholarship is just like you are just applying to the school for it. But for the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship is different. So you're applying to the school and you're also applying to the scholarship body. So don't forget that, because I had like I think last year someone has already applied for the scholarship and he missed the school's deadline, which is really bad. Then it means if they give you the scholarship, you will not be able to go for that scholarship because you don't have admission with the school. So it's very important you apply to the school. And if you ask me when, the best answer I will give you is that you should like check the school. Yeah, because I remember the school I applied to then had like a separate deadline for application. Yeah, so I think it was like a week before. Uh, for example, we have 24th. Yeah, so I think on the 16th or thereabout, that was when that was the deadline for the school admission. That's for those applying for the scholarship. So it's very important you also note that. Check the school portal and see any specific guidelines for application. That's for the applicants, the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship applicants. So you can go through that route. And sometimes the school might also give you a separate test. Yeah, like the school I applied to then, we had to write an online test. Yeah, some were selected based on that test. So you need to check all of that, those preliminary steps. Then apart from that, you need to know how to put in the to write your aces. Okay, before I go into this, I would like to say that for the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship, you must have graduated from your undergraduate school before applying, because at the point of application, you need to submit your complete document, which involves your certificates and your transcript of records, as well as the references, which are academic some of the time. Then if you don't have academic references, maybe you are working, you can get from your employers or the HR that will be able to comment on your fit for the program. Yeah, so I need to also let you know of that. And it's also tenable in low as well as middle income Commonwealth nations. It means we have like 56 Commonwealth nations, Commonwealth countries, which comprise of low, middle, and high income countries, like the UK, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand. They are excluded. So this scholarship is not tenable in these four Commonwealth countries. Yeah, so first of all, you need to get your documents, ensure that your documents are complete, which I've already mentioned earlier. Then you need to fill in the personal details as well as your academic, as well as your employment history on the website. Then you go on to upload you copy and paste your essays. Yeah, then you upload the document and submit. Ensure you fill everything completely and correctly, because after submission you can't edit, unfortunately. So that is one of the things I would like to see. Then for the essays, I don't think this meeting will be sufficient enough for we to go on to talk about all the essays. But if you want further guidance on writing the essay, I can. I think he obviously have a link to my LinkedIn profile. Yeah, I had to settle down to give an elaborate description of how to write the essays. First of all, maybe we'll just run through a couple of them. Then if you have questions, you can let me know. Then if you still have further questions which cannot be settled within the time frame for this webinar, you can link me up via LinkedIn, and I'll always be there to give you further answers that you require. So I would like to go through some of the questions as time permits. So I'll just touch briefly on them, like, and some of the things maybe that I've not included in LinkedIn post that might be useful to your application. So one important thing about the essay, writing the essay, is that there are already clear-cut um, description of what should be included. For example, the first essay is all about plan of study. Another plan of study will have like 4 subsections, like 4 things that they need to be included in your essay. And it will be good if you address all of this within that first statement in order for you to like have a guarantee of success, like for during the application. So one of the things they talked about is why you've chosen this to study this course. So first of all, you need to tell them about your interest and why is that interest important. So if you are saying you are interested, for example, I'm interested in cancer research. So if I'm interested in cancer research, why is it important to me or to the society in general? Obviously, we know the incident of cancer and how they've not really been a universal treatment for cancer up to this moment, unfortunately. So it's really a field which so many people are diving into. So you can be able to illustrate using the incidents or like a like an important feature of that area which you are going into and why it's important. So you will be able to tell us that and the course. So if for example I'm coming to study molecular life science, then the course component should point to the fact that they will be addressing this particular issue, which will give me some hands-on skills and knowledge in that area to be able to contribute to that. Do you understand? So you need to highlight that. Then the other components are like, why do you want to undertake this course at this institution? For example, one of the key reasons why you will be doing a particular course at an institution would be the faculty members. When I say faculty member, I'm talking about the lecturers, what we call lecturers in Nigeria. Yeah. So if they are doing research in your line of interest, in that particular line you want to venture into, to be part of the reasons why you um, want to do that particular course at that school, or are there other components? If there is an internship component in the course which will be able to give you industrial, like an industry-based experience, which will also add to that. So you need to talk about these things. Then what have you done to research your institution? Is very straightforward, like how you source the information. Is it from the school's website, from blogs, from stuff like that, to be able to tell like how you researched about the school. And so then the last component under the first statement is how is the explain how your previous studies and experience make you a suitable candidate for this course. So you'll be able to. This is where you need to say brag about yourself. You need to sell yourself. Yeah, like your undergraduate program, um, what you did, like the research, if it's related to what you want to do, and if you've done like undergraduate internship, stuff like that, or you've worked. So how has that work be able to put you as a very competitive candidate? What experiences has it given you that that will make you fit for the program? So you need to detail some of this in the first statement. So when you are going on to the second statement, talking about your development impact and post-study outreach, this form the core of your essay. Like I always say, any essay that's about um, Commonwealth scholarship, you should know that it's all about you getting experience for you to implement your home country. So you need to this part of the essay is a key component. You need to be able to demonstrate that you have very genuine interest in adding to or contributing to the solution of a developmental issue in your country. So the first one was saying you should describe briefly one challenge. So what is the challenge in your home country that your course will be able to equip you to be able to contribute to that problem? So you need to tell us about the problem and not just stating it. How is the problem um, affecting the nation on the general scope? How how is it related to you? For example, if you have a a one-on-one interaction with the problem. For example, okay, if I'm interested in cancer research, what's the statistics saying about cancer in Nigeria, and how is it related to me? Is it that I've had like relatives that have been affected by this, and it has caused a lot of challenges, economic stuff like that? So you'll be able to relate it on the Nigerian landscape, and how it affects you, if it does actually. Yeah, if it does not affect you directly, but obviously you're in Nigeria, so you should have a link to the problem. Yeah, you don't need to lie about anything when writing the AC. So how will your proposed study help you contribute? So now you'll be able to talk about, okay, which skills you will get from the your study, what knowledge you have that will put you um, at the forefront of providing the solution to this problem or contributing to the solution. So apart from that, you need to tell us what like your country has done about it. Obviously, Nigeria should have done something about um, the problem. So what has Nigeria done about the problem, and what are the gaps, like the limitation you've spotted in this in their approach, and how will your study be able to help you to provide solution with respect to that gap that you've identified. So you need to talk about that. Then um, what skills? Okay, I've talked about this already. So how will you apply and share the knowledge and skills that you gained on award with your local community? So this now talks about your post-study engagement. Will you join an NGO that is already in line with this problem, in line with solving this problem? How will you come in? What skill set will you bring after your study to to help this NGO to fulfill this mandate they have? Or do you have intention of working in a research institute, for example, that's already in line with solving this problem? So you need to tell us, you need to tell the scholarship body, obviously, how you'll be able to how your study will be able to give you the skill set you require or the knowledge to solve this particular problem. Then talking about the sustainability, like the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, you need to highlight one or two SDGs that are related to the work you need to do. I need to tell us how this work is related to the SDG. How will it help to achieve the sustainable development goals within your country? Then the final one talks about creating network. It's very important because obviously you cannot solve a particular a problem in your country without networking. So you need to go, you need to understand what networking means, and you need to tell us tell the scholarship body, sorry, I'm only saying us. You need to tell the scholarship body how you've networked before, what platforms you've used in networking. For example, your undergrad, were you involved in any political engagement? Were you involved in collaborative research, stuff like that? So how have you been able to network before? And from that experience, how will you be able to implement, use that particular ability to network within the host institution that will be able to give you like an edge after you your graduation, to be able to reach out to your home country. So that's the entire pathway, that the importance of this networking. So you need to tell us that. And one thing I would like to say is, in explaining your experiences and your development, your developmental impact, is you need to use the STAR approach. Yeah, the STAR approach: situation, tasks, action, and your results. You need to use this format, able to say, okay, what situation was on ground, and what needed to be done, and what did you do, and because of what you did, what was the result that what did you achieve based on your action? I need to quantify as much as possible in order for them to, okay, understand the landscape of the result you achieved. So you need all of these components when writing your Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship essays. And if you have further questions, like I said, you can link up with me on LinkedIn, or you can ask them now so we can address them. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Samuel. You have really, I think this was apt and it was resourceful. You are good at what you're doing, and I don't regret bringing you on board. So you have really made it a bit, you gave a summary of the whole thing within a short time frame that we have. That makes you a scholar you are, because a scholar is one who is able to articulate his point within a given space. Some of these scholarships that we apply, I know before I started getting scholarships, I was not so wonderful in my essays and all that. I used to write essays, but as time goes on, when I was now writing, I listened to a lot of videos like this, YouTube videos and other places. This issue of STAR approach and SMART approach, they were all good resource for me, and I was able to. So as it stands now, I'm not trying to brag about it, but I think there is no scholarship that I'm going to apply now. And in fact, for them to send me any breakfast message, it means that they didn't read my essay well. So, but so far I'm so grateful to God. Within this year alone, between January and now, I have won about 5 scholarships so far, and all of them requires long essays. And some of these things you mentioned, due to my experience, my listening to some of you guys, in fact, your video is one of the resourceful videos that I watched in those days. There was a video you posted online. I connected with you on LinkedIn while I was in Nigeria. So there was a video you posted online regarding Commonwealth Scholarship. That video you did with other scholars, other Commonwealth scholars. Yeah, you in your own part, you explained, I think, some part of it. So that video was very resourceful for me in those days. And it helped me to submit a very strong and competitive application then, that my application got to reserved list. So for your application, I later understood that for your application to even get to reserved list, it means you're a strong candidate. Yeah. So, but eventually, it ended up there. I think well, it ended up there probably because I didn't further with providing what do you call it? References, because when you're this engaged to this, you need to provide. I think you need to provide references, strong reference, or so. I don't know. It's I didn't further it because NIU has already given me funding, and I've already started pursuing NIU process. So I said, let me leave all those ones and focus on this one. So that was why I didn't continue with that application. But I know that at that time. But my first Commonwealth application was, in fact, I don't think I even crossed the first stage. In fact, I didn't even cross the eligibility stage. Talk more of getting to the reserved list that I later got to the next year that I applied. I applied for that scholarship like 2 times. The first time I didn't make it at all, but the second time I made it to reserve list. So probably if I apply for it the next time, I will now get it, but it's no longer relevant for me now because I'm not going for masters again. So, so yeah, I don't know if anybody has questions for Samuel. You can ask. Olalekon was raising his hands before. I think I could give you opportunity for you to speak now. And then if you have questions for Samuel, you can ask now. Otherwise, I think I shared your LinkedIn link with my mentees in the WhatsApp group chats that we have. And I believe that most of them that are interested will connect with you on that. But those who are here, if you can ask him question. Okay, now is scholarship open to HND holders? Someone asked in the chat box. Is it open to HND holders?
Yeah, I think it's just for undergraduate programs like those with BSc. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what was expressly stated on their terms and conditions. So except the dicey thing is, except you can get admission with that. Yeah, if the school will permit. But obviously we don't know. You need to verify from the school if they can give admission to HND holders. That's the only point where you can come in. Yeah, you can get admission with this school.
And also I was thinking that scholarship thing. I think they made mention of 2-1 or so. It must be 2-1 and above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you must have 2-1 and above. Yeah, and you must have graduated at the point of application.
So if this is the case, I think naturally HND holders may not stand better chance because HND is upper credit, lower credit, distinction and all that. But in the university we have first class, second class, upper, second class, lower, and all that. So I think technically.
Technically,
Yeah.
but the technical is not involved.
Yeah. But okay, so Olalekon, do you have something to say? Or you?
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Stanley. Okay. So I have my interview to my F1 visa interviews that will be on Wednesday. And my situation, let me just tell a bit about my situation. I'm going to Ball State University for my master's in accounting, and I don't have funding yet. I submitted my dad's account. I used my dad as my dad will be my sponsor. So what I'm really concerned about is my cost. That's my COE cost of attendance for the first 9 months is equivalent to $40,000. And in my dad's account that I submitted, the available balance is around 19.1 million in the account. But though since I graduated in 2016 and ever since after my NYSC in 2017, I have secured job as an accountant up to date. So, and on my DS 160, I put there what I'm currently earning, which is a bit significant. I think about 350,000 naira to say. So what clarity I need is that if they ask me that who is sponsoring me, okay, I tell them my dad is doing this, he owns this company, blah, blah, and this is probably his turnover. If I am not asked that, because I see some transcript and they say, okay, is it only your dad that will pay it? Would any of your family member be of support? Now, what me, I am just rehearsing, I will tell them that, okay, I have been working for this period almost like more than 5 years now, and I have personal savings. So is that convincing enough?
Emmanuel, you have anything to say on that?
It's when you're talking about funding, and then for the fact that you already have a study gap, and then you've been relevantly working, and you have a very good job that is paying you, it will be so, I don't know how to put it, to be so not good when you just put only your dad as your funder. Because one, in the US, these guys believe in an independence, like concern, like you have to like do your thing yourself. Like nobody gives a fuck about you. Sorry, I use that word. Sorry, nobody gives a damn about you. Okay, so for them, at the age of 20, you should be earning, and then you are working already. And then for you to have been working for this number of years, it will be good you bring in your personal savings. But that shows that yeah, you still have interest in your own self, in your academics, and not just being a liability to someone. Okay, so for the fact you'll be working and you earn close to 350 for 5 years, then you should, let's say you have annually, your annual income is about 3 point something million, and then you are saving 2 million naira for your studies. And then for this number of 5 years you've worked, you should have had some good savings that could still add up to your funding plans. So that will really make a very good sense, because putting only your dad, and then how many siblings do you have? That's a question. How many siblings do you have? Are you the only one your dad is training? Okay, how will he be spending such amount of money on you after having trained you in your BSc, and then you've been working now, and then you have savings, and then you're not still contributing anything to it? So it's good you bring in the point that yeah, you've been working and then you have these savings to add up to what your dad will be giving to you.
Okay, even without being asked, right?
No, without being asked. Like if I went to ask you who's funding your studies, after talking about your dad, okay, bring in yourself, because your dad is the major sponsor in your I-20. So if I thought your details is in the I-20 as a personal funds too, then you bring it in and then bring your dad. Because working for 5 years is enough. Like it's good for you to have a good savings that can somehow support your studies.
Okay.
So you don't need to wait for them to ask you. Once you mention your dad, they mention that I've been working for this number of years and I earned something annually, because try to make your payments in annually, because that makes more sense and then makes it huge enough for someone to understand what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I think that works. And in addition to what he has just said, I think talking about, they said heaven helps those who help themselves, and US believes in that. And that's why most of the reasons why we hold some of these things is to tell you what is obtainable in the United States, how they see you, what they expect from the people that are coming into their country. They believe that you should have something that they can now leverage on to assist you. That's why even before you get something in this country, you must be doing something. You don't just get something freely. Most times when I post some of these scholarships that I've won on my online platforms, people may think it just came. It didn't come like that. It took nights of sleepless nights, and it took a lot of time for me to work on myself, and a lot of things because in my SOP, in my statement of purpose, I talk about what I'm doing currently in the United States that is helping the country. These are the things they read and they say, okay, since this guy is doing this, we can probably give him this fund, because we have seen that from his own personal funds, he has been able to do this. So if we actually give him more funds, he will be able to do this. So why I brought up this thing is, your dad is one that's going to sponsor you, but what you that has worked for 5 years, how have you been able to help yourself? So is it that you are still depending on your dad after 5 years? So practically, it doesn't all go well. And most times, what advice we give people here is an advice that will help them to, give these people, because these people are, like I said before, they are psychologists. there are some things you are telling them, they will know that you are not saying, as in, you are not saying the truth. You know, there was one certain time I advised somebody on this platform about a visa interview, and then the person came up with that her uncle is going to be her sponsor, and she doesn't even have any funding. She has deficit. I mean, she has zero funding from her own, from both the university and her own personal income. I mean, her own personal funds. There is nothing to show for it, and she has about 45K US dollars deficit, which she said that her father, I mean her uncle, will take care of that. Now I now came down to our Nigerian this thing. I said, think about it in the Nigerian context. Your uncle is just a brother to your father who has his own children. And then he will bring out 45 US dollars to sponsor you to go and study. Without, what of his children? How many of his children are outside the country studying? So let's be practical. It's not workable. It's not workable in you and I. We are all Nigerians, and we know that it's not possible for your uncle to. I'm not saying that it's not possible anyway, but practically talking, your uncle should to bring out that kind of money to sponsor you when he has his own children. It's let's just be more practical about these whole things. And you know, visa application or visa interviews, I always want you guys to present factual reasons why they should give you the visa. Don't just, you know, talk. They know, them that are conducting those interviews for you, they are in Nigeria. They know how things work in Nigeria. So if you come and bring some kind of fictitious figures or fictitious reasons, they will know that this is not practical enough for them to give you the visa. And that is how they deny people visa. So work on that. I think your personal funds are also as important as your father's funds. In your organization. Your personal funds is as important as well, because you need to first of all have money, have help, and then your father should now be a kind of support.
Okay.
You know, just like when I was planning to come here, I wanted to use my brother's this thing for the little deficit that I had. But one of the advisors advised me this exactly the same way Emmanuel advised you now, that I have worked, because I started working as a lecturer, I think in 2019. Then I was to leave in 2022. So between 2019 and 2022, I should be able, this deficit is nothing to come, as in I should be able to afford it. Yeah, I should be able to afford it based on my income that I have stated on the DS 160. Even if I'm not able to afford it, because I'm not only a lecturer, but I'm also a consultant, HR consultant. I consult organizations. So we do other side jobs in Nigeria in those days. We go to organizations, some of them pay for our transport from our hotel and everything. We fly to the state, stay for like 2 or 3 days, train the employees. Me and my colleagues, I have some of my bosses that I'm working with in Nigeria that are HR professionals that I worked with. So that was also giving me some kind of side money, apart from my money they are paying me as a lecturer. So he now told me that if I stated that I'm doing all this, and then I am now coming to say that my brother will do, it means that I'm not serious. So that was why he now told me it's better I should use my personal funds to cover that deficit. That deficit is too insignificant for me to start saying that it is going to come from someone else.
Okay.
So that was why although the deficit, when converted to Naira, I don't have up to that amount. So I had to run around and get some funds and completed it. And then Because as of that time, why my account was a bit not up to that amount was because we were on strike for some months. They have not paid us our salary. We were on ASO strike then. So it wasn't easy for most of us then. So I was able to gather around. I used my personal funds to do this. So it's always good to use your personal funds first to see that you have made some kind of effort.
Okay.
Then your father's support can now come in.
Okay. All right, sir. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you.
Yeah. So I think okay, so Comfort reached out to me privately that she may not be able to join the church. She's trying to join, but I think she's having issues with her. I don't know what's happening. I think she's having issues with her phone or all that. So maybe her interview will hold some other time. Since her main interview is not this week, I can reschedule for her some other time. So thank you everyone for your participation. Thank you to all the viewers, especially Emmanuel, Obina, Samuel, all of them. Thank you all, guys. You know, this thing we are doing here is service to humanity. And I have come to understand that service to humanity pays, both spiritually and physically. I can say that out of my own experience in this United States, because I have focused on service to humanity, and spiritually, God is fighting for me. And then physically, the United States government or the United States of America is rewarding my effort. So I must commend you guys so much for bringing out your time to be here to help other people. It's a service. Nobody is paying us for this. Okay, look at here now. We have been here since 9 a.m. till this is 11 for like 2 hours. And you know, sometimes I used to tell people that, do you know what it means to spend 2 hours with you on call? That 2 hours, you know how much they are paying? They are paying for an hour here in any job you're doing. At least in this Illinois minimum wage is $13 per hour. And then someone will spend these 2 hours, which is like, let's say $26. You know what is $26 in our Naira? For someone to just give it away. And then most times I always get a lot of people come to my DM. If you come to my DM now, the messages that I've not responded to, they are like 20. A lot of people come to say, do give away. I say, most times I always tell them, can you quantify the giveaway I do by my online webinar sessions with the giveaway I'm gonna do to you? If I do give away to you and probably give you like 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira, you just spend it and it will go like that. But if I do a giveaway of giving you this information, I'm bringing in strong guys, those who have made it in their different fields, to come and share their experiences, just like someone that I brought to be in this webinar, and some other people that I'm always bringing up on board. That information you had, I think even some people in this country, I have heard that some people sometimes even collect a lot of money to review people's SOP. I have seen it. I have seen where people charge people between 100 and 250,000 to review their SOP. It's not that someone told me. I have seen it. I know the person on LinkedIn. I know some of them on Twitter that are doing that. But we are not interested in your money, because there's nothing. It's not that in fact, we are not so much interested in your money. What we're interested is in your future, because we have a goal. If you go to our website, you will see our goal, our mission, and our vision. So we have a strategic plan. We are even praying to God, working seriously to even see how we can even get funding to even give you, instead of you giving us. Our prayer is that as time goes on, we will kind of have some sponsors that can help, because I have seen that part of the challenges people are passing through is application fees, GRE, that is, GRE and GMAT, all those exams, IELTS exams. People don't have much funds. Those who are strong enough to write those exams, they don't have much funds to do that. So if by God's grace, we're able to secure some kind of a sponsorship from people who like what we're doing, we can possibly be, from time to time, maybe every year, we map out the number of persons we can help in application fees and all that. But that one is just something that is still is still coming up. We don't have funds to do that. I cannot, what they're paying me is just my small stipend for my house rent and everything. So I cannot possibly be using my personal funds to do that. In fact, it's not enough to do that. If it is, I would have done that, but it is not enough. So we can't do it. But we are doing the much we can from our little, which I don't need to be mentioned in any way. So I thank you guys. I thank you guys so much for your time, for bringing out time to be with these young people and help them. And I continue to pray that we'll continue to network. We have much to do for the society. It is paying off spiritually and physically. And God will not allow us to suffer for helping people. Yeah, that's what I always say. God will not allow us to suffer for helping people. So thank you guys, and thank you everyone for your participation.
Thank you, sir. Sorry, sir. Can I have your WhatsApp link? That's the WhatsApp group link.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know how to, okay, I don't know how to, because I'm connected with my laptop. I'm not connected with I didn't connect my WhatsApp to my laptop currently. So what will happen is that I will send you, wait, let me see how I'm gonna send you the link now. Maybe I will post the link. Do you have my number?
No, I don't have your number, sir.
Where did you connect with me?
On LinkedIn.
Okay, go to my, after now, chat me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yeah, chat me on LinkedIn. I will send it to you.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. All right. So Samuel, thank you so much for coming. And be rest assured that people will start disturbing you now, no. So I beg. Because
No worries.
one thing I always know that is that once somebody comes out to help, people come to their DM and all that. We have those disturbances are there, but there's nothing we can do about it. The only thing I do is sometimes it takes me up to 2 to 3 hours responding to people's DM messages on Facebook, LinkedIn, everywhere. And then sometimes I begin to say, these celebrities, if me that is just nothing is passing through this kind of stress, trying to reply people's messages, what about those celebrities that have millions of followers, or more? But in any case, it's not easy. So just be rest assured that from now, some people can be coming to your DM to ask you, because this scholarship is ending, I think, 24th, yeah. And a lot of people may want to participate in it. Why people participate in some of these scholarships is not even mostly to get it, but at least to have the experience. So, and I always advise people, don't just say, oh, I don't have what it takes to get there. Don't be discouraged. Just apply. It doesn't take, what it takes is just the MB, just the data you will use to apply. Most of them doesn't require money. So just apply and apply and apply. If they send you the breakfast mail, the regret mail, accept it and move on. Regret mail is part of it. I don't think somewhere last week, and I don't think it was the first time you apply, you got it. There were other applications that you said you submitted, which gave you rejection mail. So rejection mail is part of it. If you don't get rejection mail, it means you're not serious. It means they're not serious. Me, I got at a point I begin to ask myself, what is the meaning of this? With all my first class, I was getting, I said, these people are these people wicked. But it's part of it. It's part of it. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you guys. And have a nice weekend. And Samuel, the other Samuel, the Isaiah Chukwode. Yeah, you have gotten all the advice given to you. So work on it. And I'm praying seriously. I'm praying seriously that you get your visa and come to NIU. And,
Thank you very much, sir.
at least come to this my nonsense room. This is my
Not really, sir.
When you come, you see our useless house. Our house is very useless. You see the environment, how bad it is. So we are hoping to welcome you guys very soon. We are praying seriously.
Right, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you
right.
very much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And may God bless you guys and have a good week.
Bye-bye.